Introduce myself. I'm Tracy Kalman. I'm on the Americas shopping team, and I'm joined by...
Hi guys, I'm Amanda Melvin. I'm a retail account manager in Canada.
Great. So today we're going to be focused on three different things. Talking about some holiday insights to prepare you for shopping 2016. Also, what you can do to prep for the season in terms of housekeeping and Merchant Center and your campaigns and your bidding. And then also what you should do during the holiday season to make sure that you capture all of the awesome opportunity we have this year. So diving right in, the holiday landscape is really changing for shopping. And we'll take a look. In 2013, what we saw was the vast majority of shoppers, when they were doing shopping and research, they were looking in store versus only 46% were looking on a digital device on a computer or desktop or mobile device. As we moved towards 2014, we saw it was 50-50, where for the purposes of shopping and researching during the holidays, people were using both in-store foot traffic and digital devices. As of last year, it really changed. For the first time, we saw most people using a digital device to do their shopping and their research, and less people going in-store. So we know that 2016 is really the year digital will dominate holiday shopping, which makes it critical for you to have that focus on shopping campaigns this year. The other piece that we saw was 73% of holiday purchases used digital at some point in their path to purchase last year. And that number is actually higher in Canada at 78%, which lets you know that there's significant impact on your holiday revenue in terms of your digital campaigns. We see shopping traffic increase every year. Last holiday, it was up 55% versus 2014. And a lot of that increase came from mobile devices. So it was up 116% year over year versus only 12% of traffic increase from computer tablet. What that says to us and why that's important to you is that this is the year of mobile. If you really want to capture the increasing holiday demand, it has to be with a mobile-first perspective. The other piece to think about, and especially for you retailers that maybe don't have a strong brand presence or feel like you don't have a strong brand affinity with your consumers, there's been a huge shift in the last 9 years. So in 2007, 47% of Americans said that they could identify a favorite retailer or a favorite department store that's their go-to to make purchases. In 2015, that number was only 28%. So we're seeing a 40% decline in people who have this brand affinity towards a favorite retailer. And for this holiday season, the other piece is 1 in 2 holiday shoppers, they're open to going to a new retailer. This is important for both big brands that previously got to be the favorite retailer and for new brands that are trying to grab those incremental customers. These holiday shoppers are up for grabs. Don't take it for granted that either you can't get those shoppers, or if you're a big brand that you're automatically going to get them. You have to be aggressive and competitive this holiday season to capture that traffic. In terms of, we said this before, and we'll say it again with some data behind it, we know mobile is transforming the holidays. Last year, we saw 36% of Black Friday online sales on a mobile device. We're not talking about research, we're talking about actual purchases on Black Friday. Same thing with Cyber Monday, we saw 28% of online purchases coming from a mobile device. And year over year last year, 140% more mobile clicks on shopping during the holidays. We're expecting that number to continue to increase. And the other thing, if you want to compare, well, gosh, Black Friday, maybe people are more likely to purchase on a mobile device. For the rest of the year, we're seeing 30% of purchases still happening on mobile devices. So it's critical that you both have a friendly mobile experience for people to purchase, but that you're available for them to make that purchase if the mobile device is the device that they choose to interact with you on. And this gives you an idea of the MasterCard 2016 retail sales focus. This is US focused, but we'll see a lot of the holidays are shared with our Canadian friends as well. Gives you a good idea to look at what are the days that are online sales? What are the days that are in-store sales? Just because you don't have a store doesn't mean that you shouldn't be focusing on some of these days as well. But think about these when you're looking at your budgeting and bidding strategies. This is really critical, and I hear this a lot from merchants. that they really focus on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We know that those conversion rates really increase for those days, and then they'll pull back right after. And what we found last year in November and December, those conversion rates lasted much longer before and after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So the merchants that pulled back early were telling me, gosh, we really missed out on a lot of incremental conversions because we didn't keep our budgets uncapped, and we pulled back too fast when there was a lot more customers to be taken advantage of, or to take advantage of. So now we're going to move over to holiday preparation. And in terms of what we're going to be looking at, we're going to look at Merchant Center, campaigns, and bidding. So moving into Merchant Center, I'll admit this is the least glamorous part of holiday. No one likes to talk about data quality and fees, but it's a crucial part to your system, and it's frankly the foundation of your success for holiday. So we'll start there and then get to the more fun bits. Starting with data quality, there's lots of different aspects of data quality, but specifically what we see in holiday season are these three pieces around price and availability mismatch, crawler issues, and then tax and shipping. So in terms of price and availability mismatch, why do we have that? Why is Google disapproving products when my feed doesn't match my landing page? It's not because we enjoy disapproving products or enforcing our policy. We want to make sure that our consumers have a good experience. We want to make sure that when they see an ad that has your brand attached to it, when they get to the landing page, they get what they saw on Google. And that's really the philosophy behind why we want that fresh price and that fresh data availability information. And we'll talk about a solution on how you can get us fresher data during the holiday season. The other piece we hear about is crawler issues. So make sure before your tech teams go into code freeze for the year that you're not blocking any of our crawlers with a robots.txt file. That could actually also make your products be disapproved. If we're not able to crawl them, those images or those price or availability, we can't let those items be approved. The other piece with crawling issues as well is if you have new products for this holiday season, make sure to upload them into your feed. Even if you put them as out of stock, we want to make sure that we have enough time to crawl them. If you upload them on Black Friday, we can't guarantee that we'll crawl them fast enough for them to show. So if they're really important to you, make sure they're there in advance. The final piece is around tax and shipping. Just like price and availability, we want to have accurate data so merchants can make, or consumers can make the right choice when making a purchase. So be sure to give us the freshest data from that perspective as well. In terms of giving us fresh price and availability, we do have a new a feed that you can do. It's a complementary feed to your regular Merchant Center feed called a product inventory update feed. And basically what this is a supplemental feed for products that might have frequent price or availability changes, especially on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. You can upload those products with their new prices or availability, and we'll be able to process that a whole lot faster than sending us a full feed. The other piece, and this seems kind of silly, but very important, make sure you have the right contact in Merchant Center. This is where we'll give you notice if you do happen to get a warning in your account due to a policy or data quality issue. If we don't have the right person, then you're not going to be able to get those warnings. And unfortunately, we can't make exceptions because we didn't have the right contact to our policies. So make sure that that's updated today.
I can't stress this enough. Having an email distribution list as the contact is such a good idea because so many people go on holiday during this pivotal Christmas season. So by having a list where all of the sort of people who might be on call or supporting your shopping and online campaigns really make sure that no one drops the ball, no one's off on a beach getting panicked phone calls in the middle of their vacation.
Exactly. The other piece that you can consider doing is automatic item updates. This is something more on your tech side where they can put a schema.org microdata on your site, and we would be able to update your price and availability information automatically. This is not a substitute for giving us good data in your feed, but it's a good supplemental piece that if you can get it into place before the holidays, it gives you one less thing to worry about. Great, now I'll turn it over to Amanda to talk about preparing for seasonal events.
So there's a couple options here in terms of how you can prepare for seasonal promotions like flash sales or sales leading up to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. There's an opportunity to create specific for promotions for either all of your products, so this wouldn't require any change in your feed, or for some of your items, which would require specific updates within your feed. This policy review to the changes you make to your feed would only actually happen on Monday to Friday in the business week. And the SKU validation review would occur when the promotion becomes active on site. So if you're uploading it in advance, it might take a little bit longer to process. To set this up, you can use the sale price attribute within your feed for the new price, or you can use the sale price effective date for the time and date at which the price change will occur. And you can see there's lots more information on this available at the Help Center. As we move into holiday preparation, it's really important to set yourselves up for success by looking at your campaigns. Now we have a couple campaign structure recommendations as well as bid recommendations. When we look at campaigns, when you take a step back, the first thing you really need to think about is what are the products or the product strategies that your organization has decided to approach this holiday season with? Are there specific product lines or departments that have specific budgets, something that's more important or needs to move off the shelves faster, or potentially it's just their higher profit margin? Additionally, are there seasonal products, which, if you don't get rid of your Christmas trees by Christmas, you're not going to have so much fun selling them in January. So we'd recommend you think about this when you're coming up with your structure. Often, there's different structures for different organizations. One of the things we really recommend is splitting out a specific campaign at the item ID level, and you can just to highlight those top performing products. Now, if you were in the shopping market last year, you can do this by looking at your top performing items from last year by using the item ID report in your dimensions tab. The other opportunity is to just talk to your sales teams, talk to the inventory management people, find out what your most important SKUs are for this holiday season and set campaigns up for those SKUs specifically. And then you can set specific bids and budgets against that campaign. I'd also note you should set that campaign priority to high so that that campaign serves first above everything else in your shopping campaigns.
And make sure to watch the budget on that campaign. Since this is your most important items, you want to make sure that budget stays uncapped and you don't miss any opportunities in the holiday season.
This past year, there's been some great changes to the front end in AdWords that enabled you to get that much more information right in your campaign. So one of the things, if you've got item IDs, a campaign including item IDs, is you might be able to see the product status of those IDs. And if anything is disapproved, then you'd be able to troubleshoot it in Merchant Center, but you'd see the flag in AdWords, which is really great because it provides that real-time information to people who are both in marketing, because we know sometimes the marketing team and the tech team don't always sit with the same person. So the last thing, and I really can't stress this one enough, is it's really important to create this catch-all campaign to make sure no opportunity is lost during holiday. So what a catch-all campaign is, it looks at all the products you offer countrywide, and you would set this up as a low priority campaign, and you would usually set this up to have low bids. And this would target everything you have in your feed that's available for sale online. Now, in my 2 years working on retail in Canada, I've seen that these campaigns are usually perform within the top 3 of shopping campaigns all holiday season. It's extremely efficient, and it makes sure that you're really showing up against everything a potential shopper is looking for. Okay, next we're going to move into bidding. As we look into bidding, the biggest thing this year that we've been recommending to our clients is to take advantage of Enhanced CPC. Enhanced CPC is this amazing automated bidding solution that looks at query level data to determine who's the most likely to convert. So for shopping, this is a really natural fit. You can also review your 2015 conversion rates for guidance on what you can expect moving into the 2016 year. And as conversion rates and queries are going up, you should be using competitive bids to increase your qualified traffic. Now, the big thing here with Enhanced CPC is it will only adjust your bid up or down by 30%. So you need to start with a competitive bid in this auction to make sure that the automated bidding solution is given the platform by which to perform for you.
And the big thing on eCPC is it is the only automated solution that bids at the query level. So there's no other third-party solutions or any of our internal Google solutions that can actually make these changes at the auction level. So if you want that competitive edge, have those competitive base bids and use this as another tool to continue to keep up with the seasonality.
So again, as you can see here, we have a Christmas jumper example that we've borrowed from our friends in the UK because we just couldn't get over how fun this Christmas jumper looked. And as you can see, without a bid adjustment, you would have your standard bid across the board, but with your bid adjustment, you can inflate your bid up to 78 cents or more to capture the most high converting customers. The next thing we wanted to talk to you about is remarketing. Remarketing for shopping is a really strong product that lets you serve your shopping ad to people who've been on your site historically and who are more likely to convert statistically. So most retailers have a 30-day cookie window for remarketing lists for search ads, but and that works for them all year round. It's a very good tactic, but when you think about it, what that means is people who've been visiting your site in October aren't actually going to be on your lists by the time Black Friday rolls around in November. So you could consider moving your 30-day lists to a 90-day list during this holiday season. And what this does is it'll provide 9% more click coverage and a 15% more conversion coverage. So it means your lists are just that much more robust as you enter the holiday season.
And don't forget to discount those repeat purchasers. I myself am like that. I'll forget to buy something for one of my son's multitude of teachers, and I'll go back. I'll see an ad and I'll remember, gosh, I bought something from Hallmark. I'll go back and make that purchase again. So just because they purchased from you one time doesn't mean that they can't have incremental revenue for you throughout the holiday season.
The other thing to think about is just what your approach to list segmentation is. Adding an all visitors list is a good start, but certainly not the recommended approach. We'd actually recommend setting up your lists across the whole purchase funnel. So start with homepage viewers, move to category page viewers, product or offer page viewers, cart abandoners, and then finally past converters. Now, each of these lists should be added to all of your campaigns, but it's not valuable unless you're bidding for your list. So often we find advertisers will set this up and do all this background legwork to put it in their campaigns, and then they forget to adjust the bids. And at that point, you're not actually using that extra data that these systems are providing you with to say, hey, these people are more valuable. And typically, as you'll see from the bid recommendations that we've listed across the bottom, you'll find the people who've purchased historically or abandoned cart are more valuable just at a revenue perspective or potential conversion perspective than people who've just visited your homepage, because they're that much further down the funnel. But you should set this up, watch, and then optimize, because it'll be different for every advertiser.
Great, so now we're gonna move from, we've done our prep for the holiday season, we're ready to get right in. What do we focus on during the holiday season? And we're gonna talk about Merchant Center and feeds again, bids and budgets, and then also local inventory ads for those of you who have some brick and mortar stores and are using LIAs. So starting off with Merchant Center. You've done all your due diligence, you got good feeds, you're giving us fresh data. Make sure that we're still continuing to avoid suspensions. So you can use the Merchant Center Diagnostics tab to look to see if anything is happening in terms of a lot of products being disapproved. Perhaps we're not able to crawl your site for some reason. Use that graph, as we see highlighted here, to see what your feed health is and to know that your products are running as you would expect them to. This is our big news for this holiday season. We understand that account disapprovals are painful. They really detract from your ability to grow revenue in the holiday season and focus on the things that you'd like to do, like gaining new customers. No one likes to deal with account suspensions, especially in Q4. We've heard this loud and clear, and so we've moved this year for many of our top policies from account level disapprovals to what we call preemptive item level disapprovals. What does that mean? So once it's implemented for a certain policy, there's no account suspension issued any longer. It moves to this preemptive item disapproval. And as of now, we've launched that for images and for price. And those are two of the big warnings that we typically see for our merchants. You'll still receive a warning, So if we do find that there are products that have, for instance, an image or a price issue, we'll still send you a warning with an exhaustive list of all the products that are affected. You'll still get 28 days to address those. If you don't fix those products, that's when the preemptive item level disapproval kicks in. And what that means is, versus us taking down your entire account for only a handful of bad apples, we'll only disapprove the items that we think have a high likelihood of violating our policies. So this means there's less troubleshooting on your side because we're giving you a list of products that are affected, and that the important thing though, data quality does remain important. You should still continue to give us the right information to be able to avoid some of this preemptive item level disapprovals, but hopefully it'll stop your focus from having to be on account suspension, fire drills, and more about growing your customers. So now let's talk about bids and budgets during the holiday season. You've already done a look back on what your highest performing products were before. You've turned on eCPC. What do you do now? Here's a big thing. Make sure that you're budgeting to keep your digital store open. When you're capped by budget, it's the same thing as a physical store shutting their doors once a week. You don't want to be that store in Q4. So what do you need to look at? What are the things that are important to know? The big thing this year, we saw a lot of those statistics that more and more of the consumers who go to Google are looking from a mobile device. We realized that, and in the past year, we've expanded our mobile unit and also added more slots to accommodate what our customers were asking for us. What that means to you is there's more inventory. As of last year, 150% more shopping ads are reaching mobile shoppers. It means you should budget to take advantage of that inventory. You don't want to be budget capped and miss out on some of this great opportunity with our new scrollable carousel. The other point to do as well is you need to plan for higher shopping purchase intent and throughout the holiday season. We hear this again and again. There's a lot of stores that they're starting their Black Friday sales the first week of November. And so we have to be aware that the holiday season has elongated. So we must forecast your budget to be able to take advantage of that entire time. Now, it's not just Black Friday and Cyber Monday where you're able to get most of your sales. There's a lot more opportunity there. So make sure you have enough budget for all the days when customers are interested. And you can even look back in your own account and see when you had the highest conversion rates last year and plan on making sure that you're available this year around those times as well.
And just to add on to this, when you think about what people are doing on their mobile phones, we know a lot of them are making purchases, but I know when we work with e-com teams, often we get the feedback that mobile is just not as valuable, it doesn't convert as much, but you should be taking back to your teams that just as often as someone does convert on their mobile phone, people might be standing in store looking at your product and checking out the different other products that are available at other retailers and seeing what the prices are, seeing if the variety or the colors are any different. So by not showing up in that mobile auction, you might actually be losing customers in store. And so you can think about mobile a little bit differently as really being that additional sales support in store as well as being a driver of conversions online.
Absolutely. You just want to be where your customers are. And if they want to be on a mobile device, then make sure that you're there for them. So how do you look at bidding? There's two things that we really want to focus on in bidding this holiday season. First, bid competitively. As we mentioned, we know that there's higher conversion rates in shopping, sometimes up to a 60% increase in 2015 that we saw in the US during the holiday peak. So make sure that you're reviewing your bids regularly, not just on computer, but also on mobile devices, to Amanda's point. It's really important to stay on top of it. This auction is very competitive during the holiday season, and you want to make sure that you're reviewing your bids, especially during those increasing conversion rate days. As I mentioned, look back from last year, see when your conversion rates increased. Sometimes you might even be surprised on what those high days were for you. Make sure you're bidding competitively around those days. The other side is really make sure that you're staying in the top results for your top products. What does that mean? So what we found is we expanded our mobile carousel and we've expanded our mobile unit as our customers show that they want to interact on a mobile device, that for shopping ads in those top two results in the mobile carousel, they see up to 3 times a CTR, 3 times engagement from shoppers. That's huge. That's the equivalent on the tech side. We talk a lot about bidding to those first 3 positions. Same thing goes with mobile on our shopping ads. Now, I know the first thing people are thinking right now is, goodness, Tracy, you don't have a position report for shopping. So how do we know how to bid to those top slots? We have a solution for you. So there's 2 actions that we'll talk about. One, use Auction Insights in the AdWords front end to monitor who your top competitors are. You can look at the overlap rate and you can look at outranking share. And that's how you can even see if there's going to be some new players in the market in your category, or maybe some players are pulling out and there's an opportunity to take advantage of their share. I highly recommend looking at that at least once a week during the holiday season to get a lay of the land. The other piece is using ClickShare to measure how you're performing on your top categories. So let's talk a little bit more about ClickShare. As I mentioned, we don't have a position reporting for shopping ads, but we can really use this ClickShare metric that you see in the screenshot, you can see in AdWords, as a proxy for position. ClickShare is a really good indicator of performance opportunity because we know with ClickShare we're driving actual traffic. And the more ClickShare is increased, you can increase ClickShare by improving your position. So as we see ClickShare increasing, we know that you're appearing in those higher position slots. How do we influence ClickShare? So how can we make sure that we are increasing that ClickShare number? Bids. So bids are the highest factor, which makes a lot of sense. For your most important products, you want to make sure that you're continuously increasing that ClickShare. Even if you are increasing the ClickShare week over week, continue to be very aggressive to make sure that you don't lose any of that to some of your competitors. The other piece is feeds. So feed quality. Make sure you're giving us the right prices, not to beat a dead horse again, the right prices, the right images. All that stuff can impact your click-through rate, and that really impacts ClickShare as well. So just as I mentioned, focusing on those Auction Insights once a week, once you get a lay of the land about who's the competitors, also look at that ClickShare every week, or even multiple times during Black Friday and Cyber Week, to make sure that you're taking advantage of the increasing shopping ads that we have and the increasing opportunity we have this year. So the other piece we wanted to talk briefly about was local inventory ads. I'm not suggesting that if you aren't already doing local inventory ads, or if you don't have a brick and mortar store to focus on this, but for those of you who already have local inventory ads set up, we want to let you know local intent for shopping, it increases as the holiday peaks increase. So we see that the local inventory ad percentage of on mobile impressions peaked twice, both on Black Friday and on Christmas Eve, which makes a lot of sense. It really lines up with when the last shipping day is, the shipping cutoff. We expect to see a peak afterwards as people realize they ran out of time, it won't ship fast enough, they have to go in store. So for those of you who have local inventory ads, make sure that your CPCs are where they need to be to take advantage of these peaks.
If you don't have local inventory ads, if you're a Canadian client where it hasn't launched yet, think about local inventory ads as a proxy for how you could be positioning yourself on mobile. Where you see on this chart there were peaks in local intent, heavy up on mobile on those days to make sure you're still present while people continue shopping.
Absolutely. So this is a nice checklist for you in terms of what we should be doing the rest of this month versus what you should focus on in November and December. In October, number 1, as Amanda stated, let's make sure that we have the right contact in Merchant Center. Heaven forbid, if you do get some of those suspension warnings, we want to make sure it goes to the right person who can act on it. Set up those merchant promotions and sales attributes. Look at your 90-day remarketing list for search ad lists. Implement that automatic item updates or that inventory feed update that we talked about, and create those top products and catch-out campaigns that Amanda talked about as well. And in terms of throughout the holiday season, make sure you're monitoring for those suspension warnings, and in your diagnostics tab, monitor the budgets. Make sure that your digital store is online the entirety of the holiday season, and bid competitively, really using ClickShare and those Auction Insights to make sure that you're monitoring how competitive you are and you're taking advantage of the gift that we've given you with these new mobile carousel ads.
Okay, well, we want to say thank you to everyone for dialing in and joining us here today. We're really happy to have presented this to you. So far, we don't see any questions that have been posted. We're going to hang out for a little while, and if you have questions, feel free to post them. And otherwise, thank you for joining. Good luck in holiday and with all of your holiday shopping campaigns, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Happy holidays and happy shopping.